Hey guys, and welcome back to my series of retro reviews for the Matrix films, and this time it's for the Matrix Reloaded. This film came out in May 2003, and then the third one, Matrix Revolutions, came out in November 2003, which was strange at the time because, as with that, with that films before which had been made back to back, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, they came out once every year. The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions both came out a few months apart. So it was good in a way that you didn't have long to wait after, Reloaded. When I first saw Reloaded, there was much excitement and anticipation for this film because, The Matrix was such a popular film. I absolutely loved The Matrix. It's one of my favourite films of all time. So there was huge expectation on these sequels, which sadly they didn't live up to. But it's hard to live up to something that is almost perfect, and these films fell short by a long shot. But they are, good films in their own right, especially Reloaded. I'm not going to get into Revolutions much, apart from the fact that I prefer Reloaded to Revolutions, but I'll wait to rant about that film and praise that film in my next review. So yeah, on to Reloaded. The film starts off, the humans find out that the Sentinels, the machines, are burrowing towards Zion, the last human city, and that the people there have 72 hours before they reach them. Before there's like an all-out war to end, the human race, basically, man v machines. And also Neo's having nightmares about Trinity's death, which is like wanting to stop. So I remember first seeing the trailer in the cinema. I can't remember what film it was for, and it just blew my mind. It just looked totally amazing, and I thought, God, this film is going to be better than the Matrix, And then there was a programme on UK TV. It was on through the night, late, like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. It's called Entertainment Now, and it showed a clip. And it had, basically it was the first clip of the film where Trinity rides the bike and it crashes into the booth and it blows up and she lands like that. She's got a crash helmet on. But you didn't see a face in that. And I remember my friend's brother because I was at my friend's house at the time watching it, and I remember my friend's brother goes, I bet that's the reveal. And that memory stands out for some reason. He said, I bet that's Trinity's reveal of the film, that for the first time you see Trinity. And it turned out it was, and I don't know why, I always remember that. But yeah, I first watched it and I was quite disappointed. I had high expectations for the film, after the first one. And it's hard to live up to those expectations when, basically you're going into there thinking they're going to make a perfect sequel to a perfect film, basically. So it's hard. And after, I saw the film at the cinema in 2003. I've watched it a couple of times since then when it came out on DVD, I had it, and then when it came out, I watched it a couple of times on DVD because I had the Ultimate Matrix box set on DVD, and but I haven't watched these two films in probably about 10 years until recently when I've watched them both back to back for these reviews that I'm doing. And at first when I saw the film, I was either disappointed. Second and third time, I was still disappointed in the films, but I was still raw from the viewing experience. Giving it like a 10-year break, I don't view the films as harshly as I did now. I do actually appreciate them more, and I do find that there's a lot in the films that I do like. There's also quite a bit in the films that I don't like, but now there's more that I do. So I'm going to get the negatives out of the way first, and the things I don't like about the film, basically, there's too many characters that I don't really care about. There's that Commander Locke, don't really care about it. In fact, he's an horrible character, but I'm going to say more about him in my next review because he's in that more. Don't really care about Jada Pinkett Smith character, really. I forgot what she's called, to be honest. She looks cool in all red leather, and she's got a couple of cool scenes. But I think you had to play the game to really appreciate her character. Enter the Matrix, which I had never actually played. I think that came out for PS2. Never actually played that game, so I don't know. Seraph looks cool, but he's really underused. You know, he could have been used a lot more. He looks cool. He's in a good scene with Neo. But yeah, and also the scene in Zion. Zion actually looks good. I really like Zion. You heard about Zion in the first film. Zion looks excellent when you see it and all the inhabitants. You see that it's a real living, breathing, working city that needs protecting. But there's that ridiculous rave scene, stroke sex scene, which has no place in the film at all, and it goes on for too long. It's like, I remember watching it and going, Jesus Christ, I didn't realise it was this long. This is ridiculous. So that is the number one scene in the entire film that I absolutely hate. There's just no need for it. The scene with the architect, you know, obviously it's easy to understand, but it just goes about it in the wrong way, in my opinion. It tries to sound too clever than what it actually needs to say, you know, with the words that the architect's using. I'm not really keen on the actor who's playing him. I read a rumour once that they wanted Sean Connery to play the architect, but he didn't understand the film, so he turned it down, which kind of makes sense. I do like all the screens though in the scene, because I did notice, but I didn't realise that these screens are the same screens that you see in the first Matrix when Neo's getting interrogated by the agents, and they put that like scorpion type tracking device in his stomach, and it zooms through the TV. It's the same TV, so that was a nice nod. Yeah, you know, but apart from that, there's quite. One more thing. A lot of the effects don't live up to, you know, modern standards. You know, nowadays a lot of them are, you know, especially in the big burly brawl, as it's called. You know, where Neo's fighting like all the Agent Smiths. Now, I absolutely love that scene. All the parts of that scene where it's actually, you know, Keanu Reeves and Hugo Weaving and all the extras, body doubles and everything, and they're all fighting. Fantastic. One of the, you know, best fight scenes, choreographed scenes ever. It's just the parts in the film where it then turns into like complete full CGI models, you know, full body models, and it's like, it just doesn't look good anymore, you know. And I remember around the time it came out, between 2000 and 2003, 4, it seemed to be a thing in Hollywood. I remember there's a scene in Blade 2. Obviously the Spider-Man films had, you know, Spider-Man, and nowadays the Tobey Maguire ones, he looks, you know, weightless and he doesn't look real, you can tell. And then there's a fight scene in Blade 2 where he's fighting a vampire in front of some spotlights, and he's Wesley Snipes, and then for some reason they turn it into a full CGI character, which made no sense because Wesley Snipes can do action, and then obviously this scene, you know, there's a hell of a lot of it, to be honest. There's too much. One of the things why the Matrix still stands up, you know, still holds up well today, is because most of the effects, you know, you don't notice them, and most of the action and stuff, it was done all practical, probably because of the low budget that they had. And obviously the budget went up for Reloaded, so they felt they had to spend it, and yeah, it just don't live up. But they're basically the things that I dislike about the film. The things that I absolutely love, the action is fantastic. You know, there's a little fight scene at the start between Neo and 3 agents. Really good. Kicks the film off really well. Really good. Obviously, the burly brawl that I've just mentioned, everything about that which isn't CGI is absolutely fantastic. The little fight scene between Neo and Seraph, really good. Love it. The fight scene between Neo and the the Merovingians' men in the chateau. That is like one of the best Western fight scenes I've ever seen. It is just absolutely fantastic. My favourite part of the film. It's an absolutely fantastic fight. Obviously, starts off he stops all the bullets and is fighting hand to hand, and then it goes on to weapons, and they just keep getting weapons off whether it's side daggers, swords, maces, what you name it, they've got, and it's just brilliant. All the effects of them bouncing around the walls and everything. It's fantastic. I could just watch that film. I could just watch that scene, and that's it. That is my favourite scene of the entire trilogy. It's my favourite fight scene of the entire trilogy, and like I said, I regard it as one of the best fight scenes in Western cinema. But the entire sequence, the start where they're talking to the Merovingian in the restaurant, the fight scene at the chateau, and then the car chase on the motorway between Trinity, Morpheus, and the agents, and those twins. Fantastic, a really great chase scene. That entire sequence is fantastic. And yeah, I think basically I really enjoyed the film up until that, and then it kind of slows down after that. And then you get an ending that kind of it works. It's kind of abrupt, but at the same time it works because it's a good way to end the film, because it leaves you on a cliffhanger basically. So yeah, I have got good memories of seeing The Matrix Reloaded. I remember at the time I was more disappointed, and now I appreciate the film a lot more than I did then. So after all these years, there's a lot more in this film that I absolutely like. I wouldn't say love, but I like than hate. So I'm gonna give this movie a rating of B. After seeing this film, it's brought back good memories, and I remember not liking it, like I said, but I appreciate it more. So let me know, guys, down below, what do you think of The Matrix Reloaded? What were your expectations after seeing The Matrix? Did you like it? A lot of people did like it, Let me know, write in my comments down below, guys. Tell me what you hate about the film. Tell me what you love about the film. Like and share my channel. And remember, stay heroic.